my thought there and what I think we ought to do Friday.
Okay, let's put it on Friday.
On the issue of the cell phone analysis and this other affidavit filed by the state today is that both parties, any party rather, can make whatever arguments they want based on a proffer. Any counter arguments they want to make based on a proffer. They would not be admitted into evidence at this point. And at this point, I need to start hearing the arguments in the law and what we've heard so far. And if I think I'm able to proffer is going to make a material determinative point, then we can go to the evidence at that point. But just the bottom line is on Friday, I do, the intention is that we're still sticking with argument. But the parties are free to address some of these issues that have been brought up post-hearing if they'd like to.
Your Honor, excuse me.
Oh, sorry. Let me start on Mr. Sam.
Who's the Honor that do with the flags between
That
them?
suggests that we do not have to have a witness present on Friday with a cell phone on record.
Correct. Friday would just be argument, and counsel can offer why they think it's significant. And if once I've heard the law and the argument of counsel, I decide that that is going to have some material bearing on the outcome, then we can reopen the evidence and have it properly admitted and authenticated and subject to cross-examination.
Guys, y'all gotta come back on Friday. Friday's gonna be crazy.
I just wanted to know if the court wanted us to focus our arguments on anything. Do you have any questions you wanted us to track?
Well, actually, I think what I'm more likely to do is more along the lines of what I suggested before, is to give y'all a time block, and you use the time however you think is more effective. What you think is your strongest argument. I don't. A lot has been covered, and there's a lot of emotions that were covered in the evidentiary hearing that I would plan to rule on at the same time as well. So I'll leave that to you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Gill?
I know we have other motions to hear on Friday.
Yeah, we did.
I thought we did.
I just said disqualification as a whole. So if you have arguments about forensic misconduct and other things like that, that would be the time for that argument as well.
I consider that part of disqualification.
Sure.
I thought we had scheduled hearings on the murder.
No, I mean, I talked about that and then things evolved. So we didn't actually send out a notice adding any other motions, but we do need to. We have some trials starting next week. The next 2 weeks we've got some of our homicide trials already scheduled. So I'm going to be following up with y'all to schedule the rest of the pre-trial motions that we have.
So the only arguments that we have on Friday is 1 o'clock on the issue of disqualification.
That's right, all things disqualification.
Okay, we starting at 1 o'clock on Friday, guys. 1
Anything
o'clock
from the
on
state or any other
Friday.
defense counsel?
Write it down, put it in your calendars.
All right, thank you. We're off there.
Woo! God, this was here, boy. This was here. Shout out to Jordan
Last
Cook.
grade.
Says, man, we got 16,000 people over here. The Washington Post got about 5.
You doing 8, right?
We doing it over here. Woo, boy. Nathan, Wade, y'all saw him in there. It was Nathan and Terrence just looking at each other. Hadn't spoken in 2 years.
Wow.
And the stuff that they got this man Terrence to admit, and y'all saw him pausing, and y'all saw, I don't remember, I don't recall, I don't recollect. They asked him, shout out to my man Jordan. They asked him, they said, listen, Ashley Merchant sent you a copy of the motion.
Cody,
and so you knew when you were talking to her that you were helping her side. This man sat there and he was like, did I know I was helping?
Oh, the squinting, that was so annoying. He's doing it some more, it seems.
Listen, he would know, it was the pause. He paused for like 2 minutes. It's like if someone comes to me and say, Lee, did you kill Tony at that dice game? And I say, did I kill Tony at that dice game? Did you kill Tony at that dice game? Did I kill?
Why they both
You know what it
wearing
means.
headphones? Like,
Yeah,
it's
you know what it
2024.
means.
It's like, why does that question require thought? Did you or did you not kill Tony at the dice game? Tony, I don't recall saying I killed Tony at the dice. It's like, man, what the fuck is wrong? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? They got him to admit that he knew that Nathan and Fanny were having sex in the back office. Yeah. He knew they were having sex in the back office. And so
Damn.
they were friends for over 10 years. And then when you get
I can't.
imagine your attorney, your law partner, your
Boots must have loved this testimony.
man, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. 10 years and then gonna rat him out. Said that, got him to admit that he knew that Ashley Merchant was working for the other side. And he himself was pillow talking with Ashley Merchant, trying to sink Nathan Wade, trying to sink his ex-law partner, trying to sink his ex-friend of 10 years, trying to sink his own god dog client. Nathan Wade was Terrence's client, and he still did him that way. So guys, there is closing argument. There's closing argument on Friday, this Friday at 1 o'clock. You all have to be here. Now we got 16,000 people in here. Some of y'all are saying that y'all missed the very first. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna watch the very first part of this, because even AB wasn't here. The rest, you know, all these other attorneys, they had their good points. But the best part was when Terrence and Ashley was struggling because the state was objecting to everything. Every time she asked a
Yeah,
question,
she seems
boom,
frustrated. She
objection.
seemed really frustrated today.
Objection. 100%. And I'll be honest, guys, when someone is objecting to you, and I can tell you this from experience, if you don't know who I am, mucho gusto, I am the lead attorney, 20-year attorney. I'm right down the street. I have been all through these courtrooms, guys. This is in the Atlanta Fulton County Superior Court. Guys, I've practiced here all 20 years. That's why y'all are in the right place, man. I'm right down the street, guys. I've been doing this my entire adult life. And I will tell you, when an attorney is right behind you chirping objection, it just throws you off because you know how you want to handle things. But the judge was he wanted Ashley to ask certain questions in certain ways, but he couldn't tell her because a judge has to be impartial. So a judge can't help the state and the judge can't help the defense. So the judge knows how he wants Ashley to ask these questions, but he can't tell her. And so you saw the frustration of Ashley trying to figure out, how does the judge want me to ask these questions? Because she would ask it in a certain way, objection sustained. She would ask it in another way, objection sustained. So she would get frustrated. She would say, well, Judge, I'm just trying to ask this question. So the judge would be like, listen, if you're trying to get this information, why don't you think about a way to phrase it?
That happened to her last week too, when Fanny was on the stand. She got also frazzled with Fanny, but remember, she did not have control over Fanny.
Yeah, it was
So
crazy.
I'm curious about Ashley's performance with this stuff, but you can tell she gets frustrated.
100%. And so your boy was sweating bullets. Man, your boy out here, Terrence, boy, he was sweating all down his nose and his eyes. It was crazy how he was sweating. Right? And so we're just going to take a quick look at this. We're not going to go back through all this, but we're going to go through the most important stuff, guys. This is about 5-10 minutes of just cross-examination. And it was, Ashley got some great information.
Good.
Great information out of Nathan. So let's just take a quick recap. Let's take a look. We're only going to look at Terrence's cross with the one and only Ashley Merchant. So now, this is the
All right, we can call for Mr. Brandon.
Mr. Bradley. Look how thick he is.
How thick he is.
Oh, he ain't dick, that's just big. Big sounds right big.
What a suit.
He comes sauntering up to the damn chair.
Sauntering.
He's walking a lot different than Fanny was walking.
I'm
All right,
sorry.
let's take a
Let me
look
ask
at
another
it.
question.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
You never
This is the best part, guys.
confirmed in writing that it was, instead of magistrate court, it was in municipal court when they started dating.
So she hits him right, guys. They start talking right about the initial communications between her and Ash, her and Terrence. Like, hey man, you were texting me, buddy. Do you remember when you said this in this text? Do you remember when you said that in that text? And Terrence was like, goddamn, I don't recall. I don't recall. But the problem is, if you're gonna snitch, don't do it in text. If you're gonna snitch, don't do it in email. Don't leave a writing behind. He left a paper trail. And Ashley goes right in on him. Let's check this out now.
Objection, Your Honor, it's not privileged. That will cover engagement.
Okay, overruled.
I do not have knowledge.
Okay, let's go all the way back. All right, here we go.
Terrence Bradley,
Terrence Bradley.
T-R-E-N-C-E, Bradley,
That's what I'm rapping.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Mr. Bradley.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you. Sorry under these circumstances. I'm going to just go straight to where we left off before. Bonnie Willis and Nathan Wade were in a romantic relationship, correct?
Damn, so right off the bat, Fonnie Willis and Nathan Wade were in a romantic relationship. Right off. And
First
you have
question.
to remember, this attorney that we're looking at,
That's
Ashley,
why I was like,
she helped campaign for Nathan.
y'all
She
missed
helped raise
it.
money for Nathan. This lady, this blonde lady, her kids were wearing Nathan Wade shirts.
Yep.
And now she's on the other side. And she and
Yeah.
Terrence were co-mingling.
I
They
told
were
you that's what she
co-talking,
opened up
trying
with.
to
And Judge
sink
was
Nathan.
like, she's like,
Right?
oh,
Nathan can't catch a
Me
break.
and my
Let's
kids
go.
wore your shirts when he was trying to be judged.
And,
The attorney was
It
prosecuting
began
him.
at the time that they were
This is
both
people.
municipal court judges, correct?
That's what I'm saying. It don't
I'm
seem
objecting,
weird.
Your
All
Honor.
these
It's not
niggas
privileged.
know each other.
That will cover engagement.
Okay, overruled.
Damn.
I do not have
Drop the
knowledge.
N-word with the
of
Z in
it
it.
starting, or when it started.
Terrence, you told me that it started when they were both municipal court judges, though, correct?
Wow.
That's incorrect.
You never
Sit up.
confirmed in writing that it was instead of magistrate court, it was in municipal court judge when they started dating?
If you're speaking of the text message, you can go to that text message and you can read that text message and I will explain the text message to
Oh
you.
my God.
You and I did not have a conversation about when it started. You asked a compound question.
Oh my God.
Magistrate court versus, I mean, you said it was magistrate court municipal, you said magistrate court conference, I'm sorry.
He's so rapping.
And then you asked another question. I said, no, municipal court, nothing else.
I'm referring to a different conversation. I asked you, do you think it started before she hired him?
I've been objecting, this was covered in the previous hearing, where Mr. Bradley said he had no personal knowledge of the exact text that Ms. Martin was speaking of and actually used in an attempt to refresh his recollection. He explained exactly what he's explaining to the court. So this is repetitive and unnecessary.
Somebody write Sutter and Stanley in this chat. Somebody write Sutter and Stanley. Shout out to
But I
ABL.
think first,
Oh, big dog on
trying
YouTube.
to draw his attention to the
Stutter
exam.
and Stanley. Shout out to Stutter and Stanley.
Thank you, Judge. Yeah, Judge.
So overruled.
This is
Right.
the text.
So now she's gonna go up there with the phone and say, "Don't forget what you wrote me, boy."
Man. Oh,
For
no.
purposes of the record, I believe Ms. Merchant, you tendered, was the entire text chain as an exhibit?
I only tendered a few of the texts, but I did give the state their courtesy copies last time, of the exhibit.
Was this one tendered?
This one was not tendered.
All right,
And I have to tender it.
we'll just take it as it comes, whatever you
We're
need.
at, I think we're at 39.
Shout out to Jesse.
I can wait to mark it, but I think we're
How many
Yeah,
left you think?
Terrence was texting and emailing this lady because he thought that she was gonna let
So
him
you doing
stop the
nine?
city. That's what it was.
Oh.
Let's be
You said
honest.
yes or no?
The only reason
Was it the E?
Why you got an attitude? Why you
he
upset?
thought that he was gonna be able to suck on one of those areolas.
You should see your face when you said you're doing 9. Like he's upset about this.
That's what face of a man where he didn't
That's why it's gonna be
materialize.
uneven.
office and was a judge.
There's no such thing as an even head.
He didn't get what he wanted.
That's how the braiders always be. I hate
Look at
that.
him, look
They
at
be
her
like,
ass.
you have one more, and then they cut it
So
into
Tex, do you
two.
remember telling me that it started
Well,
when
the
she
head
left
is
the
not
DA's
a-
office and was
a
a judge in
ball.
Southport?
Wow.
I see the message there, but I don't recall, I do see that message,
It's not a
but
video
I do
game.
not recall.
You don't
Drop
recall.
it right
Can I
there.
take a break
He
real quick,
wrote
please?
her in a
This
message
is hurting
saying
so
that
bad.
that they started having sex before Nathan was appointed as a special prosecutor.
I'll texting this. Cool. Alright, so Terrence, do you remember telling me that it started when she left the DA's office and was a judge in South Fulton?
I see the message there, but I don't recall, I do see that message, but I do not recall.
You don't recall texting this?
Wow.
I look back at my text messages,
I need a break.
through, that we've had. I see that message, but I do not recall that, ma'am.
And when I asked you if you thought it started before she hired him, and you responded absolutely.
That's just, absolutely, yeah.
That Mr. Bradley allegedly gathered this from. There's been absolutely no foundation,
I mean,
based on
Bradley
the arguments
now.
of the last hearing, that a lot of this is based on gossip, innuendo, assumption, and privileged information.
Can't say
At this point, Ms. Burgess has not provided a foundation as to how Mr. Bradley has any information that she keeps referring to.
Or, yes, go ahead, Ms. Burgess.
I didn't ask him about the source of the information. And under Rule 621, I can impeach him with any inconsistent facts. This is an inconsistent fact. I can impeach him with any contrary facts.
Sure.
This is a
Not
contrary
going to
fact.
be a relevant impeachment if he actually has no personal knowledge of this.
If he doesn't.
Sure, so I think you have to lay that foundation, that's what I was saying.
Um, do you remember telling me that it began?
Well, that's,
The new
that
one,
doesn't
Mom
address
just
the.
bought.
No,
that you
I
guys
was
are
just
missing.
asking if you remember telling me as opposed to text.
Sure.
Do you remember telling me that it began?
Well, no, and then you go into the substance of it, which we haven't determined whether he actually knows or how he knows.
See, so she's thinking how to phrase the question. She's trying to think of it on her feet.
You told me, in fact, you corrected me when I said magistrate court. You corrected me and said it was municipal court. Do you remember that?
Same objection, Your Honor.
This is the exact same issue, right?
I'm asking if he remembers that. He hasn't answered that question yet.
Right, the relevance of whether he remembers it isn't established until we know how he remembers it or why he knows it.
This is highly technical. So she's trying to
Does that make
figure
sense?
out how to
I guess
answer the question.
I'm sorry.
She's not
How he
sure
knows
how to
it, I'm just asking if he told me that.
Right,
So I wasn't asking how he knew that. I wasn't asking the source of that knowledge. I was asking if he told me that. That was it.
But that's the point, is how he knows it.
Oh, she just got a posting.
Same with It's
The post-it
hearsay
bandit.
because it's gossip and
You need a
innuendo,
washcloth, babe.
which is what indicated the last hearing.
well, it may not be hearsay, it may not be gossip, we haven't really gotten there yet, we don't know how he knows what apparently he's telling her, and I think we need to figure that out before we go.
So you just made
Yes,
that
and if
big
the source
mess
of the
right there for
information
no
was to
reason?
specify that it's
To
not
get a
here.
towel? We gotta get that mess?
So when did the relationship start?
I cannot
Nope.
answer that.
It's gonna look
When
amazing.
was your first knowledge of the relationship?
Objection, Your Honor, he's already answered that question multiple times today. He said he had no idea the timeline or when it occurred. That was one of the first questions that Ms. Burton asked.
I didn't ask when, I asked his first knowledge. He testified he has knowledge that they have a relationship.
Can we
I
lower
asked
this a
when he
little
first
bit?
got
Where's
knowledge
the
of that.
remote?
Okay, so the question is, when did you first get knowledge? I think we can start there.
That was the question, yes, thank you. When did you first get knowledge of their relationship?
I've said over again that I didn't have any personal information where I could personally say when it started. I've said that time and time again.
And,
So I don't know when the relationship started.
and that wasn't my question. So my question is, when did you first gain knowledge? I didn't ask the source of the knowledge, didn't ask you to comment on the validity of the knowledge. I asked when you first had knowledge.
We'll get to the how, Mr. Abadi, so I'll note the objection overruled. You can answer that.
Just for the record, I appreciate your honor. But he said he has no personal knowledge.
That's
of
a thick young man right there, boy. He's been good in Atlanta.
You could have gained it from your weight.
Well, and most of us learn things from hearsay, the question of whether it's admissible, right? And that's what we gotta get to, so.
I apologize.
When did you first get knowledge? I'm not qualifying what type of knowledge, I'm just asking when you first knew about the relationship.
We got 15,000 people in here. Y'all hit the
I
like
don't know
button.
how to answer that. I mean, so
Shut up, the curbside hustle.
I can't give you a date if you're asking for a date. If you're asking me, how did I get the knowledge? it would have come directly from a client.
Right.
So help me understand,
I think you said you can't answer that question, you don't know the date, so that's the answer to the question.
but I said that 5 minutes ago.
We have to make it clear.
Well, say it again.
Next question, Mr. Frazier.
So you don't know the specific date.
No.
Do you know if can we narrow down the timing? Did you get knowledge in 2019 of this relationship begin?
I'm gonna object to this line of questioning, as he said he does not know when he gained.
You don't know the specific date.
Fine, Mr. Frazier. I think we've done one rule on that, I think we can try to see if he can narrow it down based on goalposts.
Thank you.
19, I would probably say no. I mean, I don't have anything that there wasn't a specific date, there wasn't a football game, there wasn't something that I can attribute to him telling me whatever. And so you're asking for a date, you're asking for a year, it's still a date. And at this time, I am telling you that I do not have the date.
Let's try this then. So you received a contract from Ms. Willis, January 2021, correct?
Can I see the? Yes, yes, I think so.
Okay.
I think if it was from the exhibits, I think it was 21, yes.
And I don't want to belabor the point, even though
Yes.
you were here before.
Yes,
If those documents that you looked at last time,
yes,
said January 2022, that's, okay.
21.
I'm sorry, 21, you're right, thank
And it
you.
was, I think, renewed in 22.
It was, yes. So the contract date was, that we have in the record is January 25th, 2022. So using that date, at that point, had they begun their romantic relationship?
Of 2022,
January 25th, 2021, I'm sorry. When you got your first contract?
I,
If y'all think this man is withholding evidence, press 1.
Yeah.
Somebody press 1 if you think he is withholding testimony, if he's withholding
Yeah.
evidence, if he's withholding the truth.
He's
Somebody press 1.
I,
Just say you don't recall Ninja.
I don't recall,
He said I don't recall.
I don't recall any
You called
specific
it, you called it.
dates.
Oh my God.
No,
You remember when you got that contract, though, correct?
I remember I had the contract, yes.
And you told us last week, or I guess it was a week before now, you told us that Mr. Wade brought you that contract, essentially told you about that contract.
That is correct.
So Ms. Willis is not the one that brought that contract to you directly, it was Mr. Wade.
That is correct.
At that point in time, they were already engaged in a relationship, though,
I'm
correct?
gonna object
I can't say that,
to the interpretation of what Mr. Bradley just said. He just said he does not remember, there's nothing
He
specific
doesn't
about it.
remember the exact date, I think the question now is to reference it or tie it to maybe some other event that he might remember.
I agree with Your Honor, she asked that specific question, he said he does not remember any specific date after signing the contract, that's exactly what he just said, as an answer.
Now we're getting to the end of it, so Ms. Merchant, we don't have much more.
What's the last one?
Here, but I
No.
think that's the last question, so what's your next
One more after this.
And Judge, I didn't hear the answer if they were in a relationship January 25th, 2021.
Yeah, I do recall the question.
I recall the question, and I can't tell you accurately whether or not they were in a relationship at the time. You asked me about him bringing a contract,
Do I
I
have
said
more
he
here
did
on this
bring
side
the
of the head and
contract,
this side since
and that
you're
is
doing
accurate.
one extra one?
Do you remember do you remember knowing Ms. Willis prior to her taking office as the DA?
You're gonna see the reveal any minute now.
No contact with Ms. Willis. I knew her through my business of coming down to Fulton, if that's what you're asking. Yes.
You knew her through the business, so you hadn't met her prior to.
Oh, this is hurting.
Judge, he doesn't remember much of anything right now, and so I'm trying to create a timeline to hopefully piece this together.
All right, well, I'm not seeing really the likelihood that that's gonna have any success. I'll let you ask a few more questions, but if he doesn't have a date, I don't know that you're gonna be able to create one today.
Okay, thank you.
Shout out to Gray. If y'all think that Terrence needs to start a new career as a trucker, somebody write CDL in the goddamn chat.
Right, CDL. That's his new job.
Jesus.
He ain't gonna be an attorney no more.
At the time that you had this contract from January 2021 until January 2022, did you come in and out of the DA's office?
Yes.
And so were you able to witness Mr. Wade and Ms. Willis interact during that time?
I'm gonna object, this is asked and answered, it was addressed the last hearing about Mr. Bradley's access to and from the
Yes?
room to pick up files, and Mr. Bradley said that he rarely saw them together, but.
Yeah, I think the only avenue that was closed at the last hearing was his personal knowledge.
And was a judge in South Fulton
Yeah.
office.
Look
and
at
was
me,
a judge in
Cody.
South Fulton.
Turn your head towards
Where did you
me,
gain that knowledge from?
all the
Right,
way.
when she left the DA's office, so this must be, she must have been like an ADA or something. So she left the DA's office, became a judge, and then was in private practice, and then became the head DA, then became the DA. All right.
Okay.
So they're saying that, really what, Nathan is, Terrence is saying is that their relationship started way, like a long time ago. Which would make sense because they met at that damn conference. Now, I told you guys how judges are down here now, how attorneys are down here in Atlanta.
His testimony a few minutes ago is that he did not recall
That's how
that
thick
statement.
his hair
I'll rule
is.
that, Mr. Bradley, answer the question if you can.
Repeat the question.
When you told me
Easy it
that
is.
their
to bring
relationship
thick
started when she left the DA's office and was a judge in South Fulton, where
Wow.
did you obtain that knowledge from?
hair. Product you need. That's why like people be braiding and all that.
Oh, there's a squinting.
I was
Mhm.
speculating.
Never braided with this much gel.
I didn't have a,
Especially the bigger the braid is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to braid small.
Oh,
Then
man, Terrence.
it's hard to
no
braid
one
thick
told me I was speculating.
and flat.
No one
Hair
knew
is so
that.
No
beautiful.
one knew that.
You were speculating based on things that had been told to you or things you had observed?
So I'm gonna object as
Can I get
to
something to drink real
the
quick? Can I
nature
get?
of this line
Can
of
you please
questioning.
stop?
The witness has made.
Hurry up,
clear
Cody.
speculation
Hurry up.
as to
Hurry
how
up.
or
No,
what
no,
to
no, no.
do.
Here, right here, Cody. No, no, no. You already drunk iced tea. Here's water. Drink some water. Come and sit down. You can have something sweet with dinner.
Was
Drink
this
some water.
speculation
Come and sit
when you told
down.
me that?
What
Was
you
that
doing?
based
This
on
is real life.
things that had been told to you?
Right, darling. Got one left, son.
So, it was speculation. I can't tell you,
Harder one here. The harder one.
anything
Braiding.
specific, if that's what you're asking.
You can't tell me anything specific as to why you speculated about
Close
that?
the hair in
No,
place.
this was however many years ago. I mean, I don't recall, but no, I don't.
Did you have any reason why?
I don't know if speculation is
The
lying,
game is
but-
between your legs.
Wow.
Well, let me just, show me where in this text it says you speculating.
You didn't ask me if I was speculating or guessing.
You said that.
Was anywhere here.
No, if this is the same one that you just showed me, it does not.
And you're welcome to look at your text. Is there anywhere here that indicates that you didn't have knowledge of
No.
this?
I'm gonna object to the line of questioning your honor directed counsel to,
Those are
explore
weird,
where
interesting
he
shape
got
in
the
the
knowledge.
back.
He's explored that, he said it's speculation, and he didn't get it from any source other than his own speculation.
I think we're flushing that out, and I think it's her right to have a little leeway on this if he's an adverse witness.
Thank you, Judge. And Judge, these speaking objections are clearly coaching the witness because he's regurgitating.
Your honor, I get and take offense to that comment, I'm objecting based on the law, I'm making a record for the court. So I take offense to that comment, it's not the case.
All right, well, I think we can
He's
start
getting
with
mad.
objection, grounds and the rule number, and then if I need more, I'll ask.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you. What did Nathan tell you about the relationship?
Objection, hearsay.
Nathan has testified to what you're saying.
It's still hearsay, it's an out-of-court statement being brought in, the truth of the matter asserted, so hearsay.
Judge,
Yeah, this would be for impeachment by contradiction, which would be an exception to the hearsay rule.
You got
And
any
this will
copyright
substantive
for
evidence
this in
and
the
the privilege
background?
issues are overruled.
thank you.
No.
That's coming in.
So what did Nathan tell you about this?
Well, I think you just have to propose we don't know what he's talking about, so we've already established the December 2018.
Oh, there he is.
That's okay, I covered the in-camera hearing, and I'm, based on what he told me,
Him in the
to
eye.
this effect.
And Judge, I just want for the record, because sometimes the record doesn't reflect where people are looking, and then when I ask a question, Mr. Bradley is looking at Mr. Wade and his lawyer to wait for them to object, and they're clearly interacting somehow in the court. So I just want the record to reflect that, because it wouldn't otherwise.
It's their
Wow.
action. The question was put to the judge.
Judge, one of the lawyers is sitting right in the back.
There he is.
He's standing there.
And I never looked at Mr. Wade or his attorneys. That's not structured.
All right. Mr. Bradley, the question was put to you.
Question, please.
Nathan said, I'm
Yes,
gonna stand
so I
up.
showed you, I'm sorry, the question, the last
Turn
question I
around,
asked
the
you
other way.
was,
Yeah, 'cause
what
you're
did
turning
Nathan Wade
towards
tell you
one way.
about the relationship?
Ah. Oh.
Interjection.
Then that's already
They're
been.
trying to protect it. They're trying to protect him from talking.
Yep, they don't want him to say nothing.
I recall him stating that at some point they were dating. I can't tell you what date that was. It was made in confidence. There was no one else present. That is all I can tell you at this time.
One time?
One time.
You only had a conversation with him one time about the relationship?
Objection, asked and answered.
No, I think that's clarified for their own sitting clause. Ms. Birch.
I do not recall any other time that he mentioned that they were in a relationship. No.
So you talked about this one time, and you said you don't know when it was though, correct?
That is correct.
Was it before Mr. Wade, before you got the contract in Fulton County? Let's start with that.
I do not recall.
And, how did this come up?
Say again.
How
This
did it
hurts
come
more
up?
than combing out the hair.
Huh?
This hurts more than
I do
combing
not
out the
recall how
hair.
it came up. It was in the back. I know where it occurred. In our offices in the back. I can't tell you what we were discussing prior to that.
Never getting braids again. This hurts so bad.
Turn around.
Did you receive an email from me on January 6th,
Uh-oh,
with a motion attached?
uh-oh.
Here you go.
I think I did, yes. Yes, I know I received I don't know if the date is January 6th.
For like
Yes, I
9
received
hours.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
So you remember receiving that?
Yes.
The date. And you reviewed it, and then you and I spoke about it.
Oh, no, Terrence,
You recall that?
you're such a traitor. You're such a backstabber.
Did we speak over the phone or were you saying through a text?
That's what I'm asking you.
I can't remember
Oh, Terrence.
whether it was
Just
text
that
or
look.
phone or
That look is
But
so.
you recall us speaking, one way or another.
one way or another, yes.
And where I was trying to confirm the facts in that file.
Turn around, Cody.
I think I remember there was a line about the accuracy of how much money that my office, the law office of Tennessee Bradley, had received, and whether or not that was going to be in the motion or not.
Well, there wasn't a discrepancy. I had kept that out, but you asked me to put that back in, correct?
Oh, you
I recall you.
Mom only has one more to go.
guys, he is helping Ashley Merchant draft the motion against his own
That's
client, against his own law partner, against his own friend. What were you gonna say, A.B.?
I said, it's
That's the-
terrible.
that's the face of
Like, hey,
relief.
did you get the draft? Can you look at this? Can you add this? Can you verify these facts?
You're not
Like,
gonna
he's-
do his
he's
baby hairs in the front?
No.
This against his own
Not a
friend.
girl.
10 years,
Not a
guys.
girl. I'm a
friend
dude.
of
I'm
10
something.
years, and his own legal
Put your back
client. He was representing Nathan at the time.
Trying to
God.
get those baby
Damn.
hairs cut.
There's no baby hairs. We teasing you, son.
And
No baby hairs. I put
the motion
put
of not.
everything. Put your head back.
Well, it wasn't a
Put
discrepancy.
everything
I
back in the
that out. That was
braids.
asking for that back in, correct?
Everything was put.
I recall you,
Okay.
Alright.
Look at the other way. Look the other way down.
that may be accurate, yes.
Ooh, look at daddy. How you feel?
Scalp is burning right now.
Oh.
I think
Can y'all see all the
It's a moose.
That's you do for that.
They put a moose all over it.
Where's the
No, you
moose?
don't really have any flyaways.
it should
Or
reflect the
the
accuracy,
oil slick, but that
because
doesn't feel good
the
at all.
accuracy
It
was
comes out the can too
that I
fast.
received,
All that gel.
Ah, that hurts.
I had a contract and received $74,000,
It's gonna hurt while you're
$74,000.
sleeping.
I can't wait for you to look at
I
it.
think you had put in there.
Tell us what you
that Mr.
think.
Campbell had received a certain amount, and then you also had put, and then Mr. Wade had received a certain amount, but there was not.
Daddy's next.